Yo, 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 what it do? What's good? It's your boy Triborough representing what's good. It's your boy Triborough representing 80's, 90's, and 2000s Vibes Network podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. You could follow us also on Google Play and Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok. We're taking over for the new year. 2022 is ours. We back today with a new episode, and I had this idea that I've been wanting to do for a couple of weeks. I've been prolonging it, but here it is. This is my top 10 80s albums on vinyl, and it was hard picking this list because I have like so many favorite albums from the 80s. I grew up a 80s baby. Born in '78, grew up in the 80s as a kid, great era. And then as a teenager in the '90s, another great era. So, as far as music, I grew up with different, sounds in my household. Caribbean music, because I am Caribbean. My family is Caribbean, and grew up with a lot of soca music, calypso music, reggae, R&B, soul music, pop music, a lot of pop music from the '80s and '90s. Then rap came into the picture, so I have an assorted, flavor when it comes to music and a lot of other things. So this is just my list. I know I left a lot of, classics out of this list for the '80s, but if it gets a lot of, views, a lot of, good feedback, then I'll do a sequel. So in no particular order. This, at least for the first five. The last five will be different, but for the first five, in no particular order, this is some of my favorite 80s albums. First up at number 10, we got Culture Club, Kissing to Be Clever, classic album from '82. This had the big hit, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? I'll Tumble For Your Time, Boy George, salute to him, and Culture Club. They were like a '80s pop group from down under. And I definitely grew up with a lot of their music. I have a couple of their albums on vinyl as well, but this is one of my favorites, Kissing to Be Clever. You can see that here. I believe this album is out of print, so you can pick it up on Discogs or eBay. Definitely get your hands on it. Classic album. Number 9, coming from a legendary musical family, not the Jacksons. This is another legendary musical family. Highly underrated in my opinion. They have one of the best singers in R&B soul music with El DeBarge. Talking about DeBarge in a special way. Classic album. This dropped in when was this? 83 I believe, on Motown Records. With the DeBarge family, with El DeBarge, Bunny DeBarge, James DeBarge, Randy DeBarge, Bobby DeBarge, rest in peace. Classic album, a legendary musical family. See the back right here. This is what they were rocking back in the '80s. Had hits like "Stay with Me," "What a Time Will Reveal," "Love Me in a Special Way," "A Dream." Most of these hits were like already sampled by like some of your famous, rap artists. I know the Notorious B.I.G. he sampled. I think it was "Stay with Me" for. That was on the One More Chance remix. So they definitely had a lot of artists from my era, sampling music, and yeah, definitely one of my favorite DeBarge albums in a special way. Classic. All right. Then we got one of my favorites from the '80s, Cyndi Lauper. She's So Unusual, her debut album. This was released in '83. If, her big hit was Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, and Time After Time. That was a nice ballad. She was more more of a pop artist, more new wave artist. Alternative artist is what she would be known as in this era. But she definitely did her thing. I love the album cover. very colorful. I can see the back here. You know, definitely one of my favorite albums growing up when I was like 5, 6 years old. So definitely enjoyed this. Cyndi Lauper, salute. We got another group from Down Under with another legendary singer. Talking about Wham, Make It Big, debut album. Rest in peace to George Michael. This is George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley. That was the group. You know, they had many hits. Their breakout hit was Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. What else you had? You had Everything She Wants, which was one of my favorites. I also have that single on a 12-inch vinyl. You got what else? Careless Whisper, beautiful ballad. You know, one of the best ballads ever in my opinion, sung by George Michael. Yeah. Look at the back of it. You got the track listing in the back. Y'all can see that there. Definitely a classic album from when was this? I believe this was 84. 84, yes. I was still a little boy when a lot of these albums were coming out, but like you know, I had such great memories, you know, growing up with a lot of these records in the household that you know, it's timeless, you know. But good music like this, you'll always remember this stuff. So classic album, Wham, Make It Big. Rest in peace, George Michael. Here we got, what is this? 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, number 6. And this one was hard for me to put at number 6, but you know, I got some 5 other bangers. But number 6 is the real queen of pop music, in my opinion. The one and only Madge, Madonna, Like a Virgin, classic album. You know, this dropped in when was this? I think this was 84. 84, classic album. Like a Virgin, spawned many hits. Like a Virgin, the title track, Material Girl. What else was on here that came out? Dress You Up, I remember that joint. You know, great. This is the back of the album cover. See that right here. Classic album. You know, I grew up with a lot of Madonna in my household. You know, saw her from, you know, when she was a nobody to a legend now, and you know, so many classics. You know, True Blue is another classic I have on vinyl. That was a great album. Ray of Light, Like a Prayer. So many classics she has, man. Erotica. So this is my favorite Madonna album, Like a Virgin, 84. Check it out. Then we're gonna get to the top 5 albums in my collection. This group is from Boston, Massachusetts. You know, they're considered my Temptations from my era, because you know, I wasn't around when groups like the Temptations and Four Tops was out, but this group is considered my Temptations of the 80s and 90s. And talking about New Edition, Any Heartbreak album. I had a friend send me this, because this was like the only album on vinyl from New Edition that I never had. You know, I had Candy Girl, I had the second album, the self-titled joint. I had All for Love. I had Under the Blue Moon. But this one I had back in the day on cassette. But unfortunately, I didn't keep my cassettes, so not all of them at least. So I wanted this on vinyl, and you know, shout out to my homeboy Emeka from Nigeria, you know, by way of Tennessee, and he hooked me up with this, you know, earlier this year, and I truly appreciate that. This is their best album in my opinion, classic album. You know, everybody knows this album had the big hits, If It Isn't Love, the ballad Can You Stand the Rain, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You had joints like Crucial, You're Not My Kind of Girl, Where It All Started, one of my favorite tracks on here. Definitely a Five Night classic. This is the back cover. I love this back cover too. I remember this back cover with back cover had this on a cassette insert with all of them like just rocking the Adidas and the Jordans and the Nike sweatsuits and all that, Adidas Dora sweatsuits and all that. So yeah, New Edition, Any Heartbreak, classic album. If you don't have it, pick it up. I believe it's out. It might be out of print on vinyl. It should be available on CD, but if you want it on vinyl, hit up eBay, hit up Discogs. Yeah. Number 4, coming from the same group, this man, decided to go solo after the third album, and he declared himself the king of R&B, and he hooked up with Teddy Riley, and Teddy Riley gave him that New Jack Swing sound. Shout out to Teddy Riley, legendary producer from Guy and Blackstreet. And yeah, he gave him a masterpiece with Don't Be Cruel, Bobby Brown. Definitely enjoy this album. It's from '88. Classic album right here, man. You got joints like Don't Be Cruel, My Prerogative, Roni, Rock With You, Every Little Step. See the back cover here. Definitely enjoy this album. Classic album. I love it. I played this to death. I also had this on cassette back in the day. Now, I had it on vinyl and cassette. One of my very few albums that I had on both vinyl and cassette. And yeah, 5 Mike Classic, his best album. Still, this was what really made him a star solo, as a solo artist. After New Edition. But yeah, 5 Mics. Shout out to Bobby Brown and New Edition. Then we got another legendary family. The one and only Jacksons, but this is Baby Girl, Janet. Her classic album, Control. I see this here, and move this a little bit. She hooked up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for her third album. Her first 2 albums, she had 2 albums before this one. A lot of people don't remember that, or they forgot. She had 2 albums before this, but it wasn't good. And she hooked up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis in Minnesota to give her that Minnesota classic sound that Dave gave to the time, and just a whole bunch of different artists over the years. Johnny Gill and Cameron White, but this is her best album right here. One of her best albums. You got joints like Control, Nasty. What Have You Done For Me Lately? That was the first single, I believe. What's the other joint on here? When I Think of You, Pleasure Principle. It's the back cover right here. Y'all see this? Classic album, 5 Mics. This is really what started her career as a solo artist and a legend, an icon. Still an icon. Look out for that Janet biopic documentary in January. I think it's coming on Lifetime. So yeah, the legend, Janet Jackson, Control. And we got this dude right. This was my introduction to this artist right here. He dropped a couple albums before this one, but this was my introduction to this legendary artist. May he rest in peace. The one and only Prince. Purple Rain. Classic soundtrack. Classic movie. The movie starred Prince in Apollonia playing his girlfriend, and Morris Day in the Time. Definitely a classic movie, classic soundtrack to go with it. And you had joints like Purple Rain, the title track, and Let's Get Crazy, Take Me With You with him in Apollonia, Darling Nikki, When Doves Cry, Baby I'm a Star. So many hits off this album, man. And I played this to death, man, in heavy rotation. This was definitely my heavy rotation when I was younger, and still in my heavy rotation. When it comes to vinyl albums, and I had to put this. This could have been easily number 1, but I had to make this put this in the top 5. Love the album cover with him on the motorcycle, and you got the purple, detailing and the flowers on the side, and Apollonia looking in the background. This was actually a movie poster as well, so I love it. I definitely need to get this movie poster and frame it for my wall. Iconic poster. Prince Purple Rain, rest in peace. Last one we got, the one and only king, the true king of all music in my opinion, MJ, Thriller, classic album. It recently celebrated a anniversary. Shout out to Jamal. We discussed this album on the podcast recently. Go check that out on Apple Music and Spotify, Google Play. Legendary album. You know, um, this was my introduction to music as a whole. Watching Beat It video back in the day. Billie Jean and I got scared of the Thriller video and watching that for the first time, and Michael, turning into the werewolf and then the zombie, and chasing old Ray from the forest to the movie theater they were at, and she went to like the old dark abandoned spooky house, and crazy video. That's iconic video. That video should have been a horror film, but this album means so much to me, man, and for any record collector or music fan, music lover, like, you must have this album in your collection. It is a timeless album. It is the best album ever for me, for any genre. You know, I will put this album up against any album, whether it's The Chronic or Doggy Style, Illmatic, What's the 411, Whitney Houston's first album. Any album, I will put this up against, and it will always be on top. And Mike is the man. Mike is a legend. This album is legendary. It broke barriers for music and for crossing over the different genres, and you still have artists like Chris Brown and The Weeknd and Justin Timberlake still trying to emulate this sound. And I could go on and on about this album, but this album is legendary. I got like many copies of this album. I got another version on vinyl. I got two on CD. It's great. Definitely the best album of all time. Rest in peace to the one and only king of pop, Michael Jackson. And this was great. This was had definitely made this number one on my list. So this was a great vinyl collection list. Some of my favorites. Y'all got to see from when I was young. Younger in the 80's, and like I said, like, I'll do a sequel to this, have many more. So I could go on for 10 parts of this series. We can make this whole series on here. If I get a lot of feedback, if people love it, they want to see more, I'll definitely come back and do more. What I'm saying? This was fun. Definitely stay tuned. I got some other ideas planned for the channel. Like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Instagram. Follow us on Google Play, Apple Music, Spotify, TikTok, and support the 80's, 90's, and 2000s Vibes Podcast Network. Shout out to the whole team. It's your boy Triborough, and we out.